On this episode of Left Off the Map, Henry, Terry and I are smiling like little kids as we embark on an ATV tour on the west coast of Tasmania. Then local comedian Dylan Hesp and I are catching up for a drink at Mac 1's Evolve bar in Hobart. After that, we're heading back to the east coast for a simple oysters dish in front of the hazards. But first, let's start today's episode at the edge of the bay, a stunning accommodation offering right by the water on the east coast of Tasmania. We've been making friends with local wildlife. Just there is a little wallaby munching away, watching me cook this dish. I'm doing a pasta dish. I think my new favourite seafood has to be sea urchin, and there's lots of it here on the east coast of Tasmania. So we went to a Freycinet Marine Farm, got a little tray of sea urchin. I'm going to turn it into a pasta. So I've got my pasta pre-cooked. I've got a big flat noodled pasta, pappardelle, and that way it's going to, for something like sea urchin, you want a tagliatelle or a pappardelle, something that's you're going to be able to wind onto your fork and it's going to be able to soak up and grab lots of the sea urchin as you sort of spin it around. And then I've got some pickled octopus to go with that. So first thing I need to do is make the base of my sauce. So started a little fire in our barbecue here. I need to melt some butter in the pan and I'm going to put my sea urchin in with that butter to make a sea urchin butter sauce. And that's going to be the base of our pasta. So about 50 grams, I almost said 500 grams of butter then. That would be a lot of butter. So 50 grams of butter, which is about that much. So sea urchin, if you haven't had it, it's a very unique taste. It's a very, very oceany, seafoody taste. So if you're someone who likes seafood, you're probably going to like it. It's sweet and salty. It's almost like, the best way I can probably describe it if you haven't had it, it's like scallop roe. If you're someone who likes scallop roe, you'll probably like sea urchin. So my butter in, I'm just going to pop that on top of my coals and melt it. And then once that's started to melt and bubble, I'll pop, I've got about, what have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got about 10 tongues of sea urchin. I'll use all 10 tongues in there with that butter. So that's starting to melt my butter. So sea urchin, if you don't know, is that really spiny. It's a little, like a little ball or an orb with lots and lots and lots of spines on it. And this is the roe from inside the sea urchin. So it's quite similar to scallop roe. It's similar, same sort of thing. All right, butter's melting, so I'll pop my sea urchin in now. And it does break up quite nicely when you start to add some heat to it. It does dissolve and it sort of emulsifies into something. So I want to add so much butter in there, I'm going to add some lemon juice to it as well. So I'll give that, my butter's starting to bubble, which is good. I'll give that a stir. And I just want to start breaking up that sea urchin. Back on the heat. Get my lemon juice. Start with the juice of half a lemon and then see if I need to add any more after that. I'm not going to add any salt because the sea urchin is slightly salty, and I'll just check and see if I need to add it as I go. So you can hear that starting to bubble. Let me mix all that together. Heat, it's getting pretty close. Give it a try. Oh, yum. Oh, that's so good. So at this point, my octopus is already cooked, it's pickled, so I just need to get some heat through it. So I can pop that in now and start to bring some heat into that octopus. So I'll grab a handful of the pickled octopus. Just going to add some great texture to the pasta. now, a handful of my pappardelle in there as well. And then, same thing, back on the heat, we'll just let that pasta get up to temperature. Let that sit for about a minute on there. We'll get some heat back into that pasta. I'll give it another toss and then we'll be ready to plate. That is our sea urchin and octopus pasta. I've got a little in here, is just, I've roasted some cherry tomatoes, crushed them and then collected the juice. I'm just gonna finish with a little bit of this tomato reduction on top. And then a little bit of black sea salt. There we go. That is an East Coast of Tasmania dish if I've ever seen one. It is an homage to fresh, fantastic seafood that's been sourced really local. Now Henry and I will head off for an ATV tour around the dunes of the West Coast. Hey Ian.
G'day guys, how are you?
Good mate, how are you?
Lovely to meet you, Ben. How are you?
Too.
How are you? Oh, Henry, how's things?
Pretty good.
That's good. Welcome. Well, I'm good, thank you very much.
How often are your days like this?
This is a very good day for us today. We get these occasionally on the West Coast, occasionally. Our summers are really good summers, but winter, it's the West Coast and it's wild.
ATV tours in this area, how long have you been doing them?
I'm into my 4th year, Ben.
Yeah.
And we are very happy with how we're going, and we have a great following, local following, and we have a lot of international people that come along on board too, which is great.
Let's do it.
Let's do this,
I'm
guys.
excited.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
Excellent.
Cool.
Doesn't get better than that.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
Unreal.
That's excellent.
That is the most fun I've had in, I reckon, 4 years. It's just awesome.
I can't stop giggling.
We're grown men and we're giggling like little children.
Oh, doesn't it just, I don't know, it just brings you into the moment, doesn't it?
That is the most fun I've had.
Yeah,
and I'm in my home state.
Yeah.
We forget how beautiful and engaging where you live is.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, look at the view. I can't believe
the
this
view is
place.
phenomenal, isn't it? No?
There's not a footprint to be seen
No.
anywhere.
No.
Just all to ourselves. Unbelievable landscape. The air is just fresh
Well,
and
it's
crisp.
fresh, and you're breathing the freshest air in Australia, probably the world.
It's a bit of an adrenaline rush. You just drop off these cliffs.
Oh, man.
And I can't see what's below me. It's,
No.
It's deep.
It's the small dunes that sneak up on you.
If I die doing this, Ian, I'm
I'll be happy.
You happy, are you? Yeah. Okay. There'll be a lot of ladies out there that wouldn't be happy, mate. You know that.
We can't
it's not
do that
looking
to
good
the
on
world,
me.
Henry.
Stitched up.
I've got 2 kids.
Yes, Ben.
Can kids do it? Like, could you bring I've got a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
We accommodate them in the passenger seat. They certainly can. We accommodate everybody, families, all of the everybody's catered for.
When we get to here, how far through the tour are we?
We're only a quarter of the way.
Really?
We're only a quarter of the way in the tour.
All right, let's keep going.
Let's do this.
Super.
Righto.
Well, I said it before, Ian, that is the most fun I've had in a long, long, long time.
Thank you, Ben.
What do you think?
I can't get a smile off my face. Rain, hail or shine, I'm coming back.
Oh, I look forward to it. It'll be great.
Yeah.
It'll be absolutely fabulous to have everyone back again. So,
I have to admit, I haven't had that much fun in a long time. But now it's time to head back to the real world, as local comedian Dylan Hesp and I get a tour of Mach 1's accommodation offerings and award-winning bar. We're going to stay at an absolute award-winning hotel down here in Hobart. We're going to stay at Mach 1.
Oh, cool.
So I'm going to head off and do a bit of a tour of the hotel itself. You head to the bar.
Yeah, sure.
We've got a bar there called Evolve, which I'm
Okay.
pretty sure has just won some awards.
Oh, cool.
You head there, and then I'll
Yep.
come meet you down in the bar, and we'll have a drink to finish off the day.
Great.
And have a chat to the barman and talk about the bar itself and how it won all the awards that it won.
Yeah, sounds great.
Cool. Mach 1 is one of the premier hotels in Tasmania. Situated right on Hobart's waterfront, it features 114 rooms, with each one telling a story of a prominent, quirky Tasmanian. But I've decided to take a personal tour and learn a bit more about Mach 1 with the hotel's master storyteller, Justin Johnston.
So every floor has got one of these little panels on it. So when you get out of the lift, you can see who the different characters on that particular floor are. And all our characters fall into one of 5 different categories. And we've got curious and creative, colourful and quirky, hearty and resilient. Who else have we got up on this one here? Oh, colourful and quirky, yes. Fighting believers, grounded yet exceptional. So, and the different rooms decorated in different ways to match those character traits as well. It's going to be very popular.
Oh, it's a great summer
city
vantage
to
point,
Hobart, isn't it?
Yeah, I booked this room for a week during that period of time. You'll get the best view of arrivals that anyone's ever had.
For sure and certain.
Inside Mach 1 is the opulent Evolve Spirit Bar, which has just been awarded Australia's best hotel bar and Tasmania's best bar by Bartender magazine. The bar is stocked with an array of spirits to satisfy those with even the most discerning tastes. And proudly on display is a collection of fossils, ranging from a Triceratops horn to a Russian cave bear. Behind the bar today is Alistair Broadhurst, who is sharing with us his years of experience and passion for the craft of bartending.
So we're going to go with Hobart Whiskey. This one here is a release that's only done once a year.
Winter Feast.
For the Winter Feast.
Oh, great.
And so it's something quirky and creative. What they do is they finish the cask off in a rum maple barrel. You can drink it, but you can probably also pour it on your pancakes in the morning.
All right, is this it?
That's it.
All right, let's do it.
Get into it.
Yeah, let's get some pancakes. That's some good stuff.
All right, for yourself, Lark 40 spotted gin,
Wow.
fresh mint, lime juice,
That's gonna be good.
and
That looks
a
great.
citrus husk cordial.
Yep.
Exactly what you want to wind down and refresh.
Yeah.
Here we are. Try this one.
Thank you. Mine looks like it's going to be a little bit more refreshing than yours.
It does. How is it?
Oh, you wouldn't even know there's alcohol in that.
Did my job then.
Well, mate, we'll finish these off.
Yeah.
And then we'll get up to our rooms.
Yeah. Thanks,
have
mate.
pleasure, guys.
Great day.
Oh, it's been brilliant.
Brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. I can recommend to anyone, if you're going to do a tour of Tasmania, find a comedian and do it with a comedian.
Thanks for a good one.
We really have been spoilt this episode. Time to finish it off with some oysters in front of the world-renowned hazards. The east coast of Tassie, and in particular where I'm standing right now, which is Freycinet, is famous for a lot of things. Tourism in this area is insane, and it's mainly because of what's behind me, the hazards, beautiful coastline, and that coastline leads to great seafood. The other thing it's really famous for are oysters. So these are from Freycinet Marine Farm. They farm their own oysters, literally a 5-minute drive from where we are right now. I'm going to show you how, with oysters, it's about keeping it simple, trying to think of, most people just have oysters natural as they are right now with a little bit of lemon juice, but you can be quite creative with the dressings that go with oysters. So I'm going to make a little black dressing that's got some malt vinegar or black vinegar in it, Shaoxing wine or Chinese cooking wine, a little bit of sesame oil, some soy sauce, and then some lemon juice just to help bring it all to life. Then some fresh chives, some black sesame seeds, and pan grattato. So in here I've got my mixture. It's 2 teaspoons of the malt vinegar and then 1 teaspoon of everything else. So I'll pop that into a bowl. And probably go easy on the sesame oil. Sesame oil is not like other oils. It's really, really, really strong. So you probably don't need the full teaspoon of sesame oil. You could probably go half a teaspoon of sesame oil, and then if you want to add some more, you can add some more. So I'll add my lemon juice in there now. 2 teaspoons of lemon juice as well, just to help lift it. Lemon juice or acidity and oysters. And acidity and good oysters go quite well together. A good oyster is going to be nice and creamy, and the acidity in vinegar and in lemon juice helps with that creaminess of the oyster. So I'll give it a stir. Now I want it to taste. Oh, that's pretty much bang on. The only thing I'd probably change is I wouldn't have put, as I said, quite as much of the sesame oil in there. I'm a fan of sesame oil, and that's probably a touch too strong. So maybe half a teaspoon of your sesame oil. Then the other great thing about oysters is they come ready to eat. So all you have to do now is put your dressing on top. The thing they do lack a little bit though is obviously texture. So some people will cook oysters. Oysters Kilpatrick is that classic cooked oyster. A lot of people now are deep frying them. We've got a fantastic recipe for a beer batter that goes on your oyster, and it's called them beer bubble oysters. And if you create a tempura batter with beer, like that beer flavour goes really well with the oyster. So a little teaspoon on top of each of the oysters. And then for the texture, I'm going to add, I had some black sesame seeds there, but I don't think I'll add those now because there is so much sesame flavour in there because of that sesame oil. I'll add a little bit of chive. Again, just to freshen it up with all of those dark flavours. So a pinch of chive on each one. And then a pangrattato, which I'd made for a different recipe, sea urchin pasta I'd made this pangrattato for, but I thought it would go quite well on top of oysters to give you that texture and that crunch. So a little bit of pangrattato, which is basically just a breadcrumb, a flavoured breadcrumb really. Poor man's parmesan, it's sometimes referred to, or as. So a little bit of that on top of each one. The good thing is that pangrattato, if you let it sit for a while, it soaks up all the flavour that's naturally in the oyster, but also the flavour of that dressing that we've put on top. And that is it. So simplicity when it comes to oysters, as I said. We don't need to overcomplicate simple things. I'll put a little bit of that there just in case people want to add some more to it. And then if someone does try it, I'll keep those sesame seeds on there. If someone does try it and they want a little bit more sesame flavour, they're like me, they love that sesame flavour, they want the texture, you can add a little sprinkle of sesame on top, just like you would seasoning or salt. But that is a pretty simple but really, really yummy recipe that takes advantage of really good quality oysters here on the east coast of Tassie.